Good morning, everyone. This is Uma coming to you with a video on dreams, dream interpretation, and meanings of dreams. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Uma. I am the CEO and founder of the Lotus and Light Metaphysical Center, Lotus Wellness Center, and president of the Manassas Holistic Chamber of Commerce. I am located in Northern Virginia, and I've been doing this work, spiritual, metaphysical, psychic, and the beyond for over 11 years. And I'm trying to use my YouTube channel as a way to provide free information for everyone that can be seen as helpful and that can possibly clear some things up for you in your life. So I hope you enjoy it. If you're joining me for the first time on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe to my channel to get more talks like this. And if you're watching this video, please do me a favor and like my video. Thank you so much. I welcome your comments too as I do this talk. So, why did I decide to do the topic of dream interpretation? Well, within the last couple of weeks, I've had people come to me and tell me like their own dreams about me, which were disturbing. And then over the course of 11 years, one of the things that happens is in being a public figure in my area, and especially with the line of work that I do, people often get dreams with me in them. There's some that I toss out, and then there's some that I pay attention to. And I'm going to share with you the same thing because more than likely you've probably had a loved one, a family member, a friend that has come to you and said, "Oh, I dreamt you last night." And I'm going to teach you how to know when to pay attention and then when to be like, "Yeah, I'm just going to toss that out." Okay. The first thing you want to know is that dream interpretation is it's a science in of itself in the fact that there's so many different variables. So the first thing is there are different types of dreams. So the one that everybody draws to is the premonition prediction dreams, where you dream it and then it comes true. So here's what I'm going to tell you about that. That is not as common as you like to think. Okay. It's definitely a skill. It's definitely something deemed to people who are in that line of work because it's either like you are psychic and intuitive and you've been using your psychic and intuitive gifts and growing it, and then you start to get the premonition dreams or prediction dreams, or you come from a lineage of people who've had this psychic ability within them and it just is naturally passed on. So for the majority, people don't get prediction dreams. I want to say that very loud and clear because there's a lot of people that come to me, especially with the line of work I do, and are like, "Oh, this was a prediction." And I said, "Well, write it down. And if it comes true in the time it says it's going to come true, it's a prediction dream. More times than not, it doesn't come true." And then they come back to me, "Uma, why didn't it come true? It was a prediction dream." No, it wasn't a prediction dream. The second kind of dreams that are more telling, that are more current and popular and rampant in our society is your, I don't have a word for it, but it's your healing dreams. Okay? These dreams are really issues from your subconscious that comes up to be resolved while in sleep. So your subconscious mind is going to use people in your life or situations. It's not going to speak directly to the situation you're going through. It's going to speak to different things. And then you get to determine or decipher how that goes. The biggest one here is when people dream other people and then they think it's a message for that person, but it's really their subconscious addressing something in their lives that they need to take a deeper look at and pay attention to. So, for instance, if I dream Joe Schmo and it's kind of like, all this stuff's happening and I'm worried for him and I'm going to go call him and say, "Joe, you need to beware because such and such happened." That's not a good thing to do. Why is that not a good thing to do? You are creating unnecessary panic for someone who doesn't need that kind of panic. Let's be real. And two, unless you've had experience with premonition dreams and accuracy, I would say don't do it. Okay, don't do it. Because here's the truth of the matter. Spirit is infinitely intelligent. Infinitely intelligent. And why would spirit choose someone else to give them a very serious message for another person? Why doesn't spirit just go directly to that person? That's how you got to start thinking. And here's some more variables to throw into that. Let's say somebody has a message for me, right? Somebody who's been doing this for a while, over 11 years, seen over 10,000 clients in sessions. So my intuition and psychic tend to be spot on. No psychic can say we're 1,000% accurate. So it tends to be spot on is the way I'm going to say it, right? I get more yeses than nos is how I'm going to say it. And why would spirit go to someone else to give them a message for me? And not only that, the message may be completely opposite to what I'm receiving myself from spirit, right? So that's where I say, use your judgment. When someone comes and tells you, I have a dream about you, this is your message. If it's filled with fear, dread, doubt, or just something completely opposite to what you're doing, you don't want to take it seriously. You want to thank them. You can say something like, you know what, I'll meditate on it, or thank you for that. I'll reflect on it. Just you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you need to just kind of let them down gently and be like, and then depending on your relationship with that person, you can let them know, I really feel that spirit's bringing you a message. Now, if you're not that close to them or you're getting to know them, you might not want to say that because that can hurt their feelings. So you can just say something like, I'll meditate on it and let you know. And if they follow up with you and say, what did you think? Then you can use that opportunity to say, it really did not resonate for me. I'm sorry, but is there any part of this that can resonate for you? And then see where it goes from there. So those are the things I want to leave you with. There's two kinds of dreams: the prophetic divination dreams, which usually comes to people who have been doing a lot of psychic work and working with people. Because again, spirit's not just going to give people prophetic dreams just for the fun of it. They tend to give the prophetic dreams. What has the Bible shown you, or history? They tend to give the prophetic dreams to people who are working with other people. Nostradamus had a large community, right? Moses had a large community. The dreams come to those that are going to share it and bring some sort of movement about concerning the dream. It rarely comes to people who are just, sitting at home doing their own thing and just, well, here's how the world's going to end, right? What was the point of spirit giving that to that person? Right? And this is the way you want to think about these things, because so much of the time I'm having to work against a lot of woo woo and a lot of nonsense in my field and my career. And I'm trying to bring the validity of the work that we do, because there's so many of us that are really good at what we do and we can be really helpful for society. But it doesn't help when we have people running around that are just sharing whatever they're sharing just because they had a dream. So for those of you that do dream, here's how I'm going to ask you to be something more beneficial for society. Start writing your dreams down. And if you truly are prophetic, or you have, the gift of sight, then you should be able to say with clarity when things are going to come true. For instance, I knew my grandmother was going to pass because I had a dream about it. I saw exactly how she was going to die. I ran down to Florida, spent some time with her, and then within a week after I came back, she passed, right? And I was able to tell my mom and get everybody ready. And for people who are passing, I'm able to tell the people who are close to them, I need you to be ready. This is going to happen. And that's how I use my dreams, is the divination is given to me so that way I can help people know this is going to happen. So I don't want you to be worried. I want you to be prepared, right? So think about that for a second. When you're having your dreams, is it helpful to anybody else but yourself? If it's not coming from spirit. Okay. So that's the first kind of dream, the prophetic dreams, the divination dreams. And the second kind of dreams are really more for healing, where you are receiving messages from your subconscious for your own healing. Stop involving other people into it. If anything, it might be a little bit embarrassing because now other people are going to know what you're personally going on with in your life. And you kind of want to be like, no. Sometimes people ask me, well, if spirit's talking to me about my own situation, why don't they just show me? And there's so many reasons for that. There could be a reason that you don't want to look at this situation, or you're very stubborn and they have to find a way to kind of jolt you, because if you have to like go through the dream as yourself, you're not going to take it as seriously as if you have to go through the dream for someone else, right? And how many of us are like that? We're so much better at taking care of other people than taking care of ourselves. So spirit might say, you know what? She cares about this person. I'm going to let this be about that person in her dream. But we're hoping that she has a sense when she wakes up to look at it and say, wow, that was scary. That was terrible. I wouldn't want that for my friend, AKA, I don't want that for myself. Hi, Jen. Wonderful. So let's see how it comes true. Jen said she dreamt about her meditation class she's holding in the morning. And you see right there, is it a premonition dream? Is she going to see it exactly as it plays out? We're going to wait and see. Or is it just more her subconscious is worried about it and concerned about it, and it's her worries and fears coming out in her dream? Oh, you're welcome, Leah. So I'm sharing this message really because I know a lot of you are dreaming right now. There's a lot of fear on the planet, which is acceptable, which is understandable. But be mindful of your dreams. As you go into the fear and the panic, and you're probably trying to show a brave face in the world, your subconscious never lies. And we're going to see that from your dreams. When your dreams come up, if it's full of like death or grief or doom or gloom, understand that you're not doing okay. Okay, you're not doing okay. So now in the conscious waking life, you want to do things to make yourself feel okay. Not just say it, not just Instagram it, not just Facebook it, but to actually live it where you're like, okay, I clearly am I'm shook up. I'm afraid and that's okay, but I need to address this because now my subconscious is showing me a lot of where that fear is coming from. That's awesome, Jen. I hope it is prediction for you and it comes true. Okay. So I'm sharing this because, again, like I said to you guys, I do this work professionally. And I think for a lot of us that do this work professionally, we've been taught to just be kind and gracious and say, oh, that's great that everybody can do what we do. But we know the hours and training and the dedication we have put into our art, and that's what makes us who we are, the storytellers, the mystics, the healers, the prophets, the priestesses, the oracles. It makes us who we are. But at the same time, I'm seeing more and more people come out of the woodwork saying, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And I'm like, you can't be mean, you can't be rude. But at the same time, what about those of us that have been doing this and really taking this seriously and really have actual results and accuracy standing behind our work, right? So be mindful. When you get a dream about someone, first check it within yourself. Does anything in this pertain to me? Yeah. And then you just want to keep that to yourself. If you get a dream about a person where it's like happy and joyful, and you're just kind of like, okay, can this pertain to me? Yeah, it can, but I need to tell this person. Go back to asking again, why wouldn't spirit tell her? Right? Or him? Why wouldn't spirit tell her or him? Don't they speak to spirit on a daily basis? Why wouldn't it go to them? And you can try it out. If you know that person, you're like, hey, I have a message for you. Are you open to receiving it? And they're like, sure. And that's another thing. When people tell me their dreams about me, I don't ever get, they don't ask my permission. They just write me wherever, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I had a dream about you. And then they launch into like, 5 to 10 paragraphs of this dream. And I'm sitting there like, in a way, this is emotional abuse because I'm not going to read it. And I don't ever read it. I just pretty much right off the bat, I say, I thank you for your thoughts, and I'll meditate on it, which I'm not going to because I know it's not meant for me. So if you really have a dream about people and you really want to tell them because for whatever reason you feel it's a premonition, or this is your line of work, or this is your line of expertise, then the first thing you want to do is ask for permission. Do I have permission to give you a message? I had a dream about you. Do I have permission to share? And if they say, yeah, go ahead and share. There's one of two things that's going to happen. One is either going to completely not identify for the person, but you probably may not know that because a lot of us have been trained to be nice and to just say, oh, yeah, I could see why you got that dream. Or, oh, yeah, even if it goes completely against what we believe in, we are more apt to tell you what you want to hear to make you feel good because we don't want to hurt you than to tell you the truth. So if you can find some kind of way to tell that person, hey, I'm going to tell you what this dream is, but I want you to be really honest with me. If it doesn't land, if it doesn't fit, be honest and tell me because I'm in training and I really want to know if this is an ability I have or not. If you come with that like level of honesty and integrity, you might find them more open to say, all right, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but that doesn't really pertain to me. And then the next thing you have to do is be okay with that and just trust and say, okay, I got it wrong somewhere, somehow, and let me go back to the drawing board. The first thing you want to do is go back to looking at that message and seeing how it applies to you. Either spirit sent it for you to look at your life, or your subconscious is saying, this is things that we're ruminating on and we really need you to pay attention to. Okay. So I hope this has been helpful. Please like my video if you're watching live or watching the recording. That really shows me that what I'm doing here is good work and that you guys appreciate it. And if you don't subscribe to my channel, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I super, super appreciate you guys. You're welcome, Jen. Oh, Leah asked, what are some of the suggestions for us to reference check for when we do remember dreams? Many times I do not remember them. You have to write them down. And that was one of the things when I was training for lucid dreaming. The first thing they told you is you have to write your dreams down. So you have to write them down. I have a pen and paper. Well, I have a journal, a dream journal that's separate from my regular journal at my bed with a pen so that the minute I wake up, I can start writing things down. Most times now, I don't write anything down because I've gotten to this point where I don't need to know the interpretations of my dream anymore. Most times now, there are subconscious healing where there's things coming up in my subconscious that's meant for me to look at and for me to review and say, okay, where's your mind and what is this about? The premonition dreams, funnily enough, you tend to really remember. I need to make that distinguish because the premonition dreams shake you in some kind of way because it's so much truth there, but it hasn't happened yet, but you know it's going to happen. So that's a big thing. You're welcome, Leah. Jen wants to learn how to lucid dream. Hi, Jennifer White. In my dreams, I'm typically in a group on a mission. Okay, so maybe that's your subconscious telling you that you need to be in a group on a mission and working. The funny thing about lucid dreaming, I trained myself. I didn't read books or anything. I told a friend, and I had her practice with me. And that's, again, you have to have a lot of honesty and willingness to get it wrong when you do this kind of stuff. So I told a friend, I said, put something at your nightside table and I'll try to come get it. I actually was trying to come and get it, like to apport into her dream, into her bedroom, pick it up and bring it back with me. So it would come back with me to my house. That's really where I wanted to go. And I remember the first night I did my thing to get there. And I've never been in her room. I mean, when you go to people's houses, you don't go into their bedroom. And the first night I went there, I remember seeing her in her bed and everything, but then I snapped back out. So I told her like the color of her table, her nightside table, what side of the bed she slept on, what side of the bed her husband slept on. And she was like, oh my God, that's all true. And then the second night I went there, I was able to stay longer. And I walked up to the table and there was like a little box, like a little ornated box. And I was opening the box and I saw some jewelry in there. And I wanted to pick up the jewelry and bring it back with me. But I couldn't. It just kept going through my hands like my hands were smoke. And I was like, oh. And then I woke up and in the morning I called her and she said, you were here at 3:00 in the morning. I said, I was? And she said, I saw you. I didn't just feel you. I saw you standing in my room. She's like, it was the freakiest thing. She's like, but I saw you. And I told her, I was like, you wanted me, I was like, the thing that you put in the jewelry box was jewelry for me. And she said, yeah, I wanted you to pick up the jewelry. And that's what I was trying to get. So that's my experience with lucid dreaming. Yeah. And you can train yourself. Like that's the thing. A lot of this stuff that I do, it's not anything fancy. With psychic work, you just want to be able to concentrate, focus, and get it done. But a lot of us aren't in that place, right? We're worried about money. We're worried about relationships. We're worried about our health. We're worried about our kids. So when you have all that going on, there's no space to be quiet. The reason why I'm pretty much introverted and I work a lot out of my home is because I like the quiet. I like being in the quiet. It gets me closer to spirit. How did I do that? I trained. I trained to do it. It took a lot of nights going to bed, willing myself to do it, and then waking up in the dream, which is lucid dreaming, where you're able to wake up in a dream and then be fully present and direct the dream. So it took a lot of training for me to do that. Yeah. I don't know. How do I train myself to do it? I set the intention. I made it an ardent desire for this is the only thing I want in the whole wide world more than anything else. For those days, I didn't eat, sleep, or do anything else but dream and focus on dreaming and focus on doing it and focus on being clear in my visions. One of the things you have to have is strong mental power, which I have extremely strong mental power because I meditate a lot. So meditation, I'm going to tell you, is what helps, for doing that as well. Yeah. So this is great. Great conversation, guys. Thank you for coming on here, watching me live and asking these wonderful questions. It shows me that you guys have an ardent desire. And I think that's what you need to start. You need to have a desire that this is what you want to do. And then, just let spirit take over. So, all right, 20 minutes. I wanted to make a 20-minute video and we just did. So thank you guys so much for having the conversations. Please like my video. It's a little, you have to close the chat box to see the like button. And when you close the chat box, you see the like button and then you can like it. Thank you so much. And I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys again with another tidbit from Uma on Tip Tuesday. Bye guys.